Greetings nerdy list aficionados and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. Today we are continuing our trend of examining some new creations in comics. Today, villains, and specifically those involved with Batman. Now, Batman already has such a core rogues gallery, it can at times be difficult for new people to break in, but it still does happen. So here on Top 10 Nerd, we're going to take a look at some notable occurrences. There may be some who don't make this list, but there's always hope for a part 2. I'm Sasha, and these are the top 10 newest Batman villains. Number 10, King Tut. Now you may be saying, hold on, King Tut has been around since the 60s, enjoying hijinks with Adam West and Burt Ward, a professor who gets a head injury that makes him think that he is King Tut, but also makes him a supervillain and commit crimes for reasons. Then if he gets hit again, he's back to normal. Despite being described as the only successful character created for the TV show by Adam West, the character didn't make his comic debut until 2009 in Batman Confidential number 26. Here he has a bit of a different backstory. He is a criminal Egyptologist who robs the wealthy and leaves riddles, so he's kind of veering into the Riddler's wheelhouse, his territory. This did lead to a cute other appearance where they were kind of friends. He really isn't too used and has never regained the lovability he had in the 60s. Number 9, the Heretic. The Heretic appeared during the Grant Morrison era in 2010 and was plaguing Batman, but in particular Damian Wayne, Robin. The Heretic would actually kill Damian in one of the more controversial moments of the early 2010s pre-New 52. He would be skewered like a kebab. The Heretic would turn out to be a clone of Damian Wayne, one who had been hyper-aged and was also bitter and jealous over the fact that their mother, Talia al Ghul, clearly cared more about the real Damian. This all would push Batman briefly over the edge and he'd end up taking some Man-Bat serum. The Heretic would die, but like so many people, he would get better, but transition into being mostly a foe for Damian. Number 8, the DOLLMAKER. The DOLLMAKER is the leader of the DOLLMAKER family being in quotation marks. He debuted in 2011 in Detective Comics. He is Barton Mathis, a mad doctor rather than a scientist, who as one can imagine has a penchant for turning people into dolls. If this sounds very familiar, it's because characters like this have appeared frequently in media. The DOLLMAKER is also famous for being the person who cut off the Joker's face after he asked him to, because that was an arc, the Joker walking around with his own face, Harley putting that face on Deadshot's face. The DOLLMAKER runs an organ trade business, but considers the Toyman a father figure, which is kind of confusing because he's not the Toyman's biological son. That instead is Anton Schott, who also went by the name the DOLLMAKER, because why not? Make things as confusing as possible. Number 7, Talon. With this number, we can also include the Court of Owls, which has gone down as one of the most memorable storylines, and the Talons have stuck around and made a lasting impression. The Court of Owls is a secret society made up of Gotham's elite that has operated in the shadows and has its own League of Assassins known as Talons. They're almost in the realm of myth. These agents have set their sights not only on Batman, but also Dick Grayson, who was supposed to be a Talon before his life was derailed by the mob. I mean, you can predict a lot of things, but it's really hard to predict that the 2 rich parents you have killed will die in front of their son, causing him to become a vigilante. The Talons in general also have a very cool look, very evil Owlman. Number 6, the Son of Pig. Professor Pig is arguably one of Gotham's grossest villains. He is a scientist who suffered a nervous breakdown and became a supervillain wearing a pig mask. He would kidnap people and perform surgery on them, which would somehow result in them becoming mind-controlled. They would then become puppets called Dollatrons. He's actually got some interesting ties to literature with Pygmalion and the like. It works. His son also adopts a pig mask and kidnaps victims, but he is a masochist who tells them that he will teach them to not feel any more pain, like him. The Son of Pig appeared in 2011 while his father appeared in 2007. His father has been much better remembered. The Arkham games helped with that. Number 5, the Absence. The Absence is one of those villains who just at first glance you might be like, okay, come on, what is this? The Absence first appeared in 2011. She was Una Nemo, one of Bruce Wayne's many girlfriends, and by that I mean just one of the girls that he went out with, but she was really into it and Alfred liked her. Anyway, she got shot through the head but magically survived despite there being a giant hole where her brain should be. She then became a supervillain, murdering Bruce Wayne's exes. So why is she called the Absence? Well, not only because of the giant hole in her head, but also because she is showing Bruce what he is missing. Yeah, the Absence appeared 7 times. Number 4, Mr. Bloom. Mr. Bloom got quite the write-up when he first appeared in 2015. The design helped, it was a pretty cool look. He had a bit of a Slender Man thing going on, but with a giant flower on his face that also looked like it was gonna eat you. It made him quite visually unique. So Mr. Bloom stole some high-tech seeds in order to experiment upon himself. He then decided, after experimentation was complete, that it was his job to prune Gotham as he felt that the city had lost its way. I mean, he's not wrong, but that's also not the way to do it. Again, super cool look, but he didn't prove to have that much staying power. Number 3, Mr. Bygone. Now, he appeared in 2014 in Batman Eternal and was meant to be a physical manifestation of the insanity inside of Arkham Asylum. He seemingly was one of the early patients at the hospital who witnessed its decline. He was meant to be mysterious, and he was so mysterious that he essentially vanished after this arc. The Batman Eternal storyline is a bit of a mixed bag for many readers. Number 2. The Victim Syndicate. Here's a depressing concept coming at us from 2016. Here we have what started off kind of like a support group for people who have been affected by Batman and his rogues. Those poor people who live in Gotham who are perpetually caught in the crossfire. Well, they don't want to take it anymore. And they want to rid the city of Batman a bit more than the rogues, subscribing to the mentality that they exist because of him. They eventually took up criminal aliases to accomplish all of this. See? Just depressing. Depressing stuff. Their leader was called the First Victim. And in at number 1, some of you probably guessed it, the Batman Who Laughs. The Dark Knight's Metal event gave the world many evil alternate Batman and women, but the one who stood out the most and earned himself a place inside DC Comics history, it's gotta be the Batman Who Laughs. It's gotten to the point where some would even say he could potentially be being overused. The Batman Who Laughs was a fusion in a way of Batman and the Joker. After Batman killed the Joker and inhaled a Joker toxin emitted from his corpse, he slowly began to transform into the Joker. And by midway through this transformation, he had completely embraced it. He was cool with it, killed his whole family, killed Superman. It was quite an event. This character proved so popular that he would transition into the main verse and stay there for a bit, and actually be involved in some of the current at the time of this recording arcs that were just finishing off. He's fighting Apex Lex. So it's safe to say that this might not be the last time we see the Batman Who Laughs anytime soon. Staying power. Some of them have it. So those were 10 new Batman villains. Do you like any of these villains? Are there some newer ones that you feel should have been on this list? Let me know down below. I'm Sasha, and thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid. And we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.